Here is just a very quick tutorial on checking images. Here I have the image that you just sent me. I'm going to drag it into preview and open it up. Okay, now it's open in preview. We're going to go under tools to show inspector. Okay, first thing we notice is that this image is 72 dpi, and ideally we want to begin with 300 dpi. As far as how Dana outputs the magazine, I'm not sure which level she outputs it at, but I think it's safest for us to just always work with 300 dpi images unless she tells us differently. So we have a 72, but it's also 900 by 1686. You can roughly, if it's 72, you can divide this by 300 and figure out what it's going to be. So it is roughly going to be 3 by 5 inches, dividing that by 300. So 3 by 5 is what it'll come out to be. And you can check that again under inspector, in the preview software. Now to look at it in Photoshop, we're going to take the same image, open it up in Photoshop. And in Photoshop, you go under image, down to image size. And here we see the same measurements that we were looking at, 72 dpi, 1686, and 900. Now I want to change this to a 300 dpi image. What you will probably see is these two are grouped and locked, and then this is separate. In order to change this proportionally, you click, you click resample image. And that links all three of these together. So basically you are shuffling pixels from width and height to resolution. You never want to change this to 300 when these two are the only ones that are selected, because that is going to basically take this 12 by 24 image and it's going to add pixels. It's going to fake the pixels, and that's called interpolation. So you don't want to do that because it's basically adding fake pixels to the image. You always want to do it with the pixels that exist. So that's why we click this. Now all three are linked together, and so it's just going to shift pixels from the width and the height into the resolution. So I'm going to make this 300 and watch how the other numbers change, and it's basically a 3 by 5, 3 by 5 and a half, like I said. And so now we have changed to that resolution. If we were to go back on there, image size, this time you would see that it now has a 300 resolution. So we're going to save this one, and I'm going to save it as a TIFF, even though JPEGs are probably okay for what Dana's doing. I just usually save everything for print, and then it can get saved down for web. But I think it's best to just save it as print, because that is the highest, unless she tells us differently. Okay, so the JPEG we looked at, 900 by 1686 over 300. We have changed, that's for the TIFF. That is for my TIFF that I've just opened up. It's exactly what we want it to be. And let's just look at that original again. The original was still 72. So we want to use the TIFF from this point on, and it can be used as a 3 by 5 and a half, and you can stretch that a little bit. I usually feel like you can stretch something 20 to 25% larger without it reducing the quality too badly. So that bottle cap image is great. Let's see, I think here's another one. Let's just double check this. Gonna open this one in Photoshop. Go to image size, and all three are locked. Let's change this to 300, and this one can only be used 1 inch by 2 inches, and that might work for the purpose we have online. So you can imagine that maybe could go up to a 1 1/4, 1 1/2, and this could go to maybe 3 inches. So once you get to those measurements, it's probably big enough for you to be able to use, although one that's a little bigger is of course nicer. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.